Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're talking about a powerful force that's completely changing how the best companies run. It's called employee empowerment. So, what's the deal with it really? And how can you actually unlock its potential in your own team? Let's dive in.
Okay, let's start with this quote from Clarence Francis because it just nails a huge problem we see in management today. You can pay for someone's hours, sure, but you can't buy their passion, their creativity, their loyalty. That stuff, you have to earn it. And that's the one thing that old school, traditional management just can't seem to figure out.
And that really gets to the heart of it. The old way of doing things, the top-down, command and control style, was built for a totally different world. Today, it's not just outdated, it's fundamentally broken.
So picture this. It's kind of like a tale of two workplaces, right? On one side, you've got this old-school management system. It's all about span of control and chain of command. Frankly, it just leads to boring, frustrating work. But on the other side, you've got the modern employee. They're smart, they're ambitious, and they want to do more than just punch a clock. They're itching for a challenge, for some autonomy. These two things are just destined to clash.
And look, this isn't just some fluffy, feel-good idea. It's actually backed by some serious psychology. You know, big thinkers like Maslow, Hertzberg, and McGregor, they all showed us that once our basic needs are met, once the paycheck covers the bills, our real motivation comes from something much deeper. We need to feel valued. We need to be challenged. We need to feel connected to what we do. A simple paycheck just can't buy the best of what people have to offer.
All right, so here's the game plan for our explainer. We've talked about why the old way isn't working. Next, we'll get into the big idea of empowerment itself. Then we'll look at what it looks like in practice, see how it's been tried around the world, check out India's specific journey, and finally break down what it really takes to make empowerment work.
So, what is the big idea that can solve this clash? Well, it's empowerment, and it's a fundamental shift in how we think about power in the workplace.
Now, let's be really clear about what we mean here. This isn't just a feel-good program or, being nicer to people. No way. Empowerment is a deliberate, strategic process. It's about actually passing down real authority and real responsibility. It's a structural change, a planned devolution of power.
And this is absolutely crucial. For empowerment to actually work, you need all four of these ingredients working together. Think of it like a recipe. You can give someone power, but if they don't have the information or the knowledge to use it wisely, it's useless. And if there are no rewards for success, motivation just disappears. You need the whole package. Take one piece away and the entire system falls apart.
But when you get this right, wow, the payoff is huge, and it's a win-win for everybody. The company gets better products, smarter decisions, and happier customers. And the employee, they get a real sense of achievement, a boost in self-esteem, and actual opportunities to grow. It's a powerful cycle that lifts up the entire organization.
Okay, so that's the theory. But what does this actually look like on the ground, in the real world? Let's get practical and look at one of the classic examples, quality circles.
Quality circles are a perfect boots-on-the-ground example of this. The idea is simple but so powerful. You take a small group of employees who are doing the same job and you empower them. You give them time to meet, you give them training and how to analyze problems, and then you let them tackle the quality issues they see every single day. They're not just following orders, they're actively investigating, finding root causes, and creating their own solutions. That's empowerment in action.
Now, this whole idea of participation isn't just for small teams on a factory floor. Let's zoom way out and see how entire countries have tried to build different models of worker participation right into their national systems. And here you see two fascinatingly different philosophies at play. On one hand, you've got Germany with its concept of co-determination. The focus there is on sharing power. Workers have legally required seats on supervisory boards right alongside shareholders. Then you have the historical model from the former Yugoslavia called social self-management. This was a much more radical idea, where the goal was to give workers total control of the company, which they would then manage on behalf of society. Two very different takes on the same core idea.
But, putting these big ideas into practice isn't always a straight line. In India's long journey with worker participation is a really powerful case study in how even the best of intentions can run into some serious roadblocks.
So if you look at this timeline, you can see this long story of repeated top-down attempts to just make participation happen in India. It starts way back in 1947 with works committees. Then you see joint management councils, even a constitutional amendment, and then a big bill in 1990. The effort was definitely there, but despite all that, most of these official schemes just never really got off the ground.
But, and this is a huge but, just because the government scheme struggled, it doesn't mean empowerment itself is flawed. You just have to look at companies like Tata Steel to see that it can work, and work brilliantly. So what was the difference? Real, unwavering commitment from management and a strong, organized union to partner with. That was the secret ingredient.
So this all leads to the million-dollar question, right? What is the secret sauce? Given all these different stories, what really separates the successful empowerment initiatives from the ones that just fizzle out?
Well, here are the non-negotiables. You can't just announce you're empowered and expect magic to happen. You need that entire ecosystem. Management has to truly believe in it. The goals have to be crystal clear. Everybody, managers and workers alike, needs education and training. And here's the kicker. It has to be about real, meaningful issues. If you're only letting people have a say on, tea, towels, and toilets, that's not empowerment. It's an insult.
Which leaves us with this final, really critical thought to chew on. In today's economy, where all the value is in the creativity, the passion, and the initiative of your people, is empowerment really just a manager's choice anymore? Or has it become an absolute do-or-die necessity for any business that wants to survive and thrive? Thanks for joining this explainer.